Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Rick's English channel. Have you ever, bumped into an inanimate object, maybe a chair or a door frame, and automatically said, I'm sorry?
Or, apologizing to a stranger just because they bumped into you.
Yeah,
It's something so many of us do without even thinking.
exactly. Saying sorry is just such an automatic reflex. But today, we're taking a deep dive into why relying on just one basic apology can actually create awkward situations,
Mm.
and how you might even be damaging your own confidence every time you over-apologize.
Right.
So by the end of this deep dive, you will learn a complete toolkit of simple English apology phrases, exactly when to use them, how to respond when someone says sorry to you, and how to sound completely natural and polite. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, because if you're learning English, it's very common to just grab the one tool you know,
Yeah.
which is, the phrase, I'm sorry.
Right, it's the default.
Exactly, and you try to use it for everything.
Yeah.
But apologizing correctly isn't just about constructing a grammatically perfect sentence. It's really about emotional intelligence.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's about protecting your relationships and making sure the other person truly feels your respect. What's fascinating here is that it so often fails because of the delivery. A lot of language learners get so focused on remembering the right words that they forget the human element.
They just kind of read the words out loud with zero emotion.
Precisely. They say it with a flat voice.
Hmm.
And the hard truth is, English communication relies heavily on tone, the feeling in your voice.
So if you step on someone's foot and just stare blankly and say, I'm sorry, it doesn't really sound like an apology at all.
No, not at all.
It sounds more like, I don't know, a computer error message.
Yes.
Like when your computer crashes and a little gray box pops up saying, error, the program has stopped. Technically correct, but totally cold. It doesn't help you feel any better about losing an hour of work.
That is a great way to look at it. A human apology needs to be the exact opposite of that automated message. It needs warmth. You need a softer voice, and your face needs to show a bit of empathy. The words, I'm sorry, just open the door to the apology, but your tone is what actually walks the other person through it.
Tone is the vehicle, but it's not just tone, right? There's a physical component too.
Exactly. A real apology requires action. Words without action are basically empty.
Yeah.
Let's say you accidentally knock someone's pen off their desk. You don't just look at the pen on the floor, say, I'm sorry, and then just walk away.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you'd look completely ridiculous.
Right. You have to actually bend down and pick it up. The action completes the thought.
That makes total sense. And this translates to bigger mistakes too, I imagine.
Definitely. If you say something that hurts a friend's feelings, the action is actively listening to them while they explain why they are hurt.
So it's really about taking immediate responsibility. But speaking of accidents, what happens when you do something wrong, but you genuinely didn't do it on purpose? Sometimes just saying, I'm sorry, feels like you're admitting to some big crime.
Oh, that's a very common feeling. In those accidental situations, you really want to shift the focus from the mistake itself to your intention and the solution.
Okay.
So a brilliant phrase to use here is, I didn't mean to.
I didn't mean to. It's short, but it does a lot of work, doesn't it?
It does. It clarifies that there was no bad intention.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't just stop there, or it sounds like you're making an excuse.
Right, you have to fix it.
Exactly. You immediately follow it with an action phrase like, let me fix that.
Yeah.
So if you send the wrong document to a coworker, you say, I'm sorry I sent the wrong file. I didn't mean to. Let me fix that right now.
See, that completely changes the energy. You
Yeah.
instantly sound reliable, you made a mistake, but you're already in the process of solving it.
Exactly. It shifts you from being a problem maker to being a problem solver in their eyes.
I love that shift. But let's look at the actual phrases we use, because, I'm sorry isn't a one-size-fits-all phrase. How do we know which words to use?
Well, it all comes down to the concept of registers. In English, different situations require different levels of formality or, different registers. The size and setting of the mistake dictates the specific phrase you should choose.
So it's essentially about emotional calibration. You need to match the energy of the apology to the energy of the problem.
Precisely. Let's start with small, everyday problems. Say your phone rings during a quiet meeting.
Oh, the worst.
Yeah, or you accidentally bump someone's chair while walking past. For these low-stakes moments, the perfect phrase is, sorry about that.
Sorry about that. Yeah, it feels very relaxed. It acknowledges the little bump in the road without making a huge drama out of it.
Right. Now, what if you're with close friends and you make a minor mistake? Maybe you forgot to bring a book you promised to lend them.
Or texted the wrong group chat.
Exactly. Here, you can use a very casual phrase, my bad.
My bad. That literally translates to, that was my mistake. But wait, If my bad is so effective and easy to say for small things, what happens if I, like, accidentally delete an important spreadsheet at work? My bad isn't going to save my job, is it?
It absolutely won't. In fact, it might get you fired.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because my bad is deeply casual, using it in a serious or professional setting signals that you don't care about the consequences. It just comes across as disrespectful.
So what do we use instead?
For work environments, emails, or dealing with clients, you need to step up to a formal register. You need the phrase, I apologize.
I apologize for the delay, or I apologize for the confusion. Those do sound incredibly professional. But why is that? Why does I apologize sound so much heavier and more serious than I'm sorry?
It actually goes back to the history of the English language. Words like apologize or apology come from ancient Greek and Latin roots.
Oh, really?
Yeah, these words usually entered English through academic, legal, or highly formal channels centuries ago. On the other hand, words like sorry or bad come from older Germanic roots.
Which are more everyday words. Right.
Exactly. They make up the everyday conversational building blocks of English. So simply by choosing a word with Latin roots, you are instantly signaling to the listener that you're treating the situation seriously and professionally.
That's fascinating. The history of the word actually changes the temperature of the room. But let me push back a little here.
That
If I apologize is the most professional and polite phrase, why shouldn't I just use it all the time to be safe? Like, what if I drop a spoon in a restaurant and tell the waiter, I sincerely apologize for my terrible mistake?
a native speaker would probably laugh if you said that.
Because it's too much.
Exactly. It's a register mismatch again. Using highly formal, serious language for dropping a spoon is like using a high-pressure fire hose to water a tiny houseplant.
Right, just blasting it away.
Yes, it's just way too much force for a tiny problem. It makes the situation awkward because it forces the other person to comfort you over something that really doesn't matter.
Keep the fire hose away from the houseplant. Got it.
Hmm.
So we have sorry about that for small hiccups, my bad for friends, and I apologize for formal settings. Here's where it gets really interesting. Once we pick the right phrase, how do we build a complete sentence around it? Because just saying I apologize in an email usually isn't enough.
You're right. It's usually just the beginning. To build a complete professional apology, you want to use the three-part structure. We can call it the golden formula.
Ooh, the golden formula. I like that. What is it?
It's the apology plus a short reason plus a solution.
Apology, short reason, solution. Okay, let's test this out. Let's say I show up late to a meeting.
Okay.
Part 1, the apology. I'm sorry I'm late.
Good.
Part 2, the short reason. Traffic was unexpectedly heavy. Part 3, the solution. I'll make sure to leave earlier next time. So all together, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic was unexpectedly heavy. I'll make sure to leave earlier next time.
See, that sounds incredibly clean and confident.
It really does.
And it works perfectly in text messages, too, which is how we handle so much of our communication. You could say, sorry for the late reply. I was tied up with work. I'm reviewing the document now.
That's great. It's polite, it explains the delay, and it moves the conversation forward.
Exactly.
Now, I notice you specifically emphasize a short reason, because I know I'm guilty of this, and I hear English learners do it all the time. We feel really guilty about a mistake, so we just keep talking and talking to explain ourselves.
Yes, the dreaded long excuse. It's a trap so many people fall into.
Oh, yeah.
They'll say something like, I'm sorry I'm late, but my alarm didn't ring, and then I couldn't find my keys, and the dog ran outside, and then the coffee machine broke.
It reminds me of someone trying to escape through a maze. They're taking all these twisting, turning paths with their words, and as the listener, I completely stop caring about the apology.
Exactly, you just tune out.
Yeah, I just start thinking, wow, they are really trying to run away from taking responsibility.
That's exactly how it's perceived. Psychologically, keeping the reason short is vital for trust.
Yeah.
A long excuse shifts the spotlight away from your actions and puts it onto all the external things in the universe that went wrong.
Making it sound like none of it was your fault.
Right. And it accidentally makes you look chaotic and unreliable, like you have no control over your life.
And nobody wants to hire or work with someone who has no control over their life.
Absolutely not. But when you use a short reason and immediately jump to the solution, you show that you are in control.
Because you're focusing on fixing it.
Yes, the solution is the most important part of the formula because it proves you understand the problem and are actively managing it.
It's the difference between looking backwards at the mistake and looking forwards at how to fix it. Okay, so we've mastered the art of giving an apology. Let's flip the script. Communication is a two-way street. what do we actually do when someone says sorry to us? Because, you're welcome doesn't really work here.
No, definitely not. Receiving an apology gracefully is an entirely separate skill. And just like giving an apology, the way you respond depends on the size of the mistake.
Okay.
For casual, everyday mistakes like the dropped spoon or the spilled water, you want to use phrases that instantly remove the tension.
I really like the phrase, it happens. If someone accidentally bumps my desk and says sorry about that, replying with, it happens is just so comforting.
It is.
It's a way of saying, hey, we're all human. Mistakes are just a normal part of existing.
It happens is excellent. Other friendly options are, that's okay, no problem, or don't worry about it.
Oh, and no worries, right?
Yes, no worries is incredibly popular and puts people at ease immediately.
Okay, but I have to ask about the difficult situations. What if I'm actually still mad?
That's a great question.
Let's say a coworker completely forgets to include me on an important project, and they say, I apologize. I don't want to say no worries because there are worries.
Right.
It's a big deal to me, and I don't want to pretend everything is fine.
And you shouldn't. Pretending you aren't hurt when you actually are just breeds resentment. What's crucial here is that you can remain polite and professional without minimizing your own valid feelings.
So what do I say?
You don't have to forgive them instantly. Instead, you can acknowledge their effort by saying, thank you for apologizing.
Thank you for apologizing. Wow, that draws a really clear boundary, doesn't it?
It does.
It feels very honest, but still polite.
It's an incredibly mature response.
Yeah.
By saying, thank you for apologizing, you are telling them, I hear you, and I appreciate that you took responsibility. But you are not saying, the pain you caused magically disappeared.
Right.
Another great option if you're really upset is, I appreciate your apology, but I need some time to process this.
I love that. It shows that learning a language isn't just about memorizing happy, easy vocabulary. It's about learning how to navigate real, complex human emotions in a new culture.
Exactly. You are allowed to have boundaries in your second language just as much as you do in your first language.
Okay, this brings us to a really important final topic. Now that we've armed everyone with these great apology tools, we have to talk about the biggest danger, using them way too much.
Yes, the over-apology epidemic. It's incredibly common, especially for language learners who are worried about making mistakes. People end up apologizing simply for existing in a space.
It's like a nervous reflex. Someone will be in a store and say, sorry, can I ask a question? Or, sorry, I need some help. Why do we do this? What are we actually saying when we use sorry in these moments?
Well, we do it because we want to be polite, and we've been taught that sorry equals politeness.
Right, we think we're just being nice.
Exactly. But what you're actually communicating is that you think your needs are a burden to other people. You're apologizing for having a question, which implies you don't think you deserve an answer.
Oh, wow. It's like blinking. We just do it automatically when we feel insecure. So how do we stop this reflex?
The first step is replacing sorry with excuse me whenever you're trying to get attention.
Okay.
If you need to pass someone in the aisle at the grocery store, you don't need to shrink yourself down and say, I'm sorry, I'm
But
sorry.
you didn't do anything wrong.
Exactly. You didn't make a mistake. You just need to walk. So you stand tall and clearly say, excuse me.
Excuse me, where is the restroom? Or, excuse me, I have a quick question. That feels entirely different. It feels like you have a right to be there.
Because you do.
Yeah.
And that leads to the second, perhaps most powerful replacement technique, swapping sorry for thank you.
Let's look at some examples of this because this blew my mind when I first read it.
It's a game changer.
It really is. Instead of walking into a room and saying, sorry to make you wait, you flip it to, thank you for your patience.
Yes. Or instead of saying sorry for talking so much, you say thank you for listening.
Oh, I like that.
Instead of sorry for asking so many questions, you say thank you for helping me understand this.
So what does this all mean from a psychological standpoint? Why does this swap work so well?
Think about the emotional energy in the room. When you say sorry, you force the conversation into a negative space.
How so?
You're shining a big spotlight on a deficit, on your own flaw or mistake. You're basically saying, look at how annoying I am.
Right, you're centering yourself as a problem.
Exactly. But when you swap sorry for thank you, you completely shift the energy to a positive space.
You're expressing gratitude.
Yes, you are taking the spotlight off your own flaws and shining it onto the other person's good qualities. You make them feel generous and kind.
Wow.
And in doing so, you instantly sound more professional, more gracious, and significantly more confident. You transform from someone who is a burden into someone who appreciates others.
That is a massive change in mindset. I'm not a burden, I'm someone expressing appreciation. That's a tool everyone can use today. Okay, we've covered some fantastic ground. Let's do a quick recap of the toolkit we just built.
That's good.
We started with the basic phrase, I'm sorry, noting that tone and action like actually fixing the mistake are what make it human, not robotic.
Right. Then we discussed matching your words to the register of the situation, using the casual sorry about that or my bad for small bumps, and reserving the formal Latin-based I apologize for professional settings.
No fire hoses for houseplants.
Exactly.
We explored the golden formula for perfect apologies. Apology plus short reason plus solution, avoiding the maze of the long excuse.
And we learned how to respond with casual phrases like it happens, or set boundaries with thank you for apologizing.
And finally, we tackled over-apologizing by swapping out the sorry reflex for excuse me or thank you.
It's really a complete shift from simply repeating words to actively managing your relationships.
It really is. Now it is time to put this into practice. We have a challenge for you. Sometime this week, practice using 3 of these phrases. Use a warm I'm sorry for a genuine mistake. Use sorry about that for a tiny hiccup. And try swapping a sorry for thank you for your patience.
It'll make a huge difference.
Try them out loud in a mirror to get comfortable. Or, better yet, write your own sentence using one of these phrases down in the comments below.
We spent a lot of time today discussing how swapping sorry for thank you changes how other people see you, how it makes you look more professional and confident in their eyes. But I want you to think about this as you go through your week. If you stop apologizing for taking up space and start expressing gratitude instead, how might that change the way you see yourself?
What a fantastic question to leave us with. Remember to subscribe to Rick's English channel, hit the like button if you found this helpful, and leave that comment with the phrase you'll be using this week. Keep learning, keep speaking confidently, and most importantly, be kind to yourself. See you next time on The Deep Dive.